Hi, and welcome to my channel where I make dishes inspired by some of my favorite video game characters. Today's dish is inspired by Larxene from the Kingdom Hearts series. As a child, I was always kinda bummed that there was only one female Organization 13 member. Well, there's two of course, but I didn't know about 358 over 2 days until I was much older. I was even more bummed when the only female member was kind of really mean. I thought she looked so cool, and then she started being sassy, and I remember my little heart sank because of her attitude. But over time, I started to really appreciate her sass. Her design with her little hair antenna takes me out, and I think her throwing knives are so cool. Seeing her antagonize all of these literal children in Castle Oblivion was objectively hilarious, especially playing back now as an adult, and Larxene having to put up with all of her imbecile Organization 13 members is a joy to watch. Even though I was bummed by her personality when I was younger, I realize now that it's refreshing to have a female character with a very different personality than the rest of the females in the series, and it suits her so well now. While I don't play the mobile games anymore, her design as Elrena is super adorable as well, and so I'm intrigued to see if she's going to have a bigger role to play going forward in the series. When it came to a dish inspired by Larxene, I always knew one component that I needed was lemon. Lemon perfectly encapsulates her in so many ways. Of course, she has bright yellow hair like a lemon, but her personality is sour like one too. While I'm sure Larxene would love an occasional sweet, I get the feeling that she gravitates more towards savory foods instead. Because she's so busy with organization-related tasks, I feel like she'd love a dish that packs a flavor punch but isn't too time-consuming or challenging to make. When I was looking for lemon dishes, I was reminded of another tangy take on a Chinese classic, lemon chicken instead of orange chicken. With all of this in mind, I decided on a simple lemon chicken and rice bowl for Larxene that will help take her out of an extremely foul mood any day. Here's what you'll need to make your own. Rice for serving, oil for frying, 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts, 2 eggs, salt, black pepper, optional MSG, all-purpose flour, potato or cornstarch, 2 lemons, granulated sugar, water, sesame seeds, and green onions. Also, before I started cooking, I decided to pour out a glass of Chardonnay in Larxene's honor because I totally get the feeling that she is a huge wine girly. Can't you just see her pouring herself a glass after a long day of fighting Heartless? And can't you just see her pouring an overflowing cup if she had the misfortune of being paired with Demix for the day? Cheers! Anyways, this dish comes together pretty fast, so you'll want to start everything off by preparing the rice. Thoroughly rinse your servings of white rice in cold water until the water is no longer starchy, then start cooking in your rice cooker or on your stovetop. While the rice is cooking, you'll also start heating up your frying station so that it can reach temperature around the time you're done prepping. Add some oil into a deep fryer or large pot/Dutch oven until the oil is at least 3 inches deep. Start heating the oil to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. While the oil is heating, grab your chicken breasts from the fridge and pat them dry with paper towels if they're too wet. After cutting off any excess fat, cut the chicken breasts into smaller, bite-sized pieces and then set aside. Also, while you're by your cutting board, it's not a bad idea to thinly slice the green ends of your green onions and reserve for later. Of course, only cutting on a clean cutting board. You'll also grab a small bowl and add in 2 eggs. You'll lightly beat the eggs with a whisk or fork until they're smooth, and then you'll add in 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and a 1/4 teaspoon of optional MSG. Stir everything until it's well combined, then grab a separate shallow bowl or plate. In this shallow bowl, you'll add in a 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour and a 1/2 cup of potato or cornstarch. Quickly and generally mix the two so they are well incorporated, and with all of our components ready, we'll prepare our dredging stations. Grab a handful of chicken pieces and dip them into the egg mixture. Let any excess drip off, and then transfer into the bowl of flour mixture. Turn the chicken around until all surfaces are well coated, then place onto a separate, clean plate. When working with a dredging station, it's usually most efficient to use one hand to touch the liquid portions, like the egg, and the other hand to touch the dry portion, like the flour. With that being said, I picked the wrong hand to do each. Look how awkward this is. You'll repeat this process until all of the chicken pieces are battered, and then hopefully your oil should be up to 350 degrees Fahrenheit if it's not already. When the oil is hot and ready, grab a large handful of our battered chicken and carefully drop your chicken into your frying station. The lower you drop your chicken close to the oil, the less of a splash you should get. Once the chicken is in the oil, set a timer for 5 minutes. After frying for 5 minutes, the chicken should come out crispy and a light golden brown. Use a slotted spoon to remove the chicken from the fryer, then allow any excess oil to drip off before transferring the hot chicken to a plate lined with paper towels. Sprinkle the chicken with about a pinch of salt, then repeat with your next hand of chicken. We're working in handfuls at a time, that way the temperature doesn't drop too much as you add in the chicken. Speaking of, as you cook, make sure that the oil comes back up to temperature between each batch. While you might be a little impatient as the chicken cooks, luckily we have something to do as they fry. Make our lemon sauce. To make the sauce, grab your lemons and a zester. Zest only one of your lemons until you get about a teaspoon of lemon zest, then set the zest aside for later. You'll then juice both of the lemons completely into a small saucepan. Into the saucepan, you'll also add in 2.5 tablespoons of granulated sugar and a half cup of water. Head over to the stovetop and start heating the saucepan on medium-high heat until it's simmering. As the pan is heating, grab a small bowl and add in 1 tablespoon of potato or cornstarch and 2 tablespoons of cold water. Mix the two together and then set aside. Around this time, the saucepan should be simmering. Once the sauce is simmering, add in this slurry of starch and water and then stir it in with a wooden spoon. Let the sauce keep heating like this until it's at a full boil, then continue cooking for another 1 to 2 minutes while stirring constantly. The sauce should thicken up a bit, and then you can remove it from the heat. Once your chicken and sauce are both ready, it's time to combine everything. Combine the chicken and lemon sauce together as well as your reserved 1 teaspoon of lemon zest. Stir the chicken until all pieces are well coated, and then scoop some rice into your serving bowls. Top your rice bowls generously with your chicken, then garnish with some green onions and sesame seeds. Then dig in and enjoy. Such an incredibly easy yet flavorful and fresh dish. This process is so quick for everything to come together, and there's no sacrifice in flavor. The chicken has this amazingly crunchy bready to it that is only slightly softened by the sauce. The sauce has a wonderful acidity and freshness to it that is strong but not overwhelmingly so. The rice underneath is so fluffy and acts as a perfect accompaniment to the chicken. The textures are so lovely with the crispy and soft mixes of everything, and it is truly a joy to throw together and enjoy. Larxene gives me the feeling that she can't be bothered to cook really ever, as she's got better things to do than stand in the kitchen for an hour cooking, and she definitely doesn't have time to clean the dishes afterwards. She tends to lean towards takeout in many different forms, as it's delicious and easy to pick up after a hard day's mission. She loves pretty much all kinds of takeout, but has a Chinese restaurant that she loves the most, and even though she's a little sassy at heart, she secretly really looks forward to the fortune she gets from the fortune cookies. For the longest time, she stuck with basic orange chicken, but felt like it was a little too sweet for her taste, so she instead tried some lemon chicken and hasn't looked back since. Other people have mentioned that it has a little bit of sour tartness to it, but she thinks that the guys who think this are just being little babies. She'd pick up her takeout bag and stroll on back to the world that never was, and finally enjoy some peace and quiet away from all of the annoying guys for just a little bit before she'd have to return to work the next morning. The recipe card is in the video description if you'd like a more quick and concise version to give it a try. Like if you want a bite, subscribe for more geeky treats, and comment what foods Larxene reminds you of. Thanks for following along.